Why am I passionate about the humanities? Well, it started with two great mentors, and mentorship is something that within this age group, although I am gratified to know that I am not age inappropriate for this award, something that I think that we should talk about and that we all should be involved in. So let me tell you about these two women. I met Byron Champlin my sophomore year at the University of Rhode Island. She was short and slight with an ebullient personality, granny glasses, and an afro of blonde hair. She was dating one of my friends, and she was a professor of art history at the university. It was the late 60s, and so the 6 years of age difference just didn't seem to matter much to any of us. Tally's enthusiasm was infectious, and I enrolled in her class in Byzantine art. I wrote a flip and lightly researched paper on Byzantine iconography. Tally gave me a D. I worked harder on my next topic, which was the Emperor Julian the Apostate and his impact on Christian art. We can discuss later. And I don't remember exactly, but Tally graded it something like a B+ or an A. My next class was on modern art. Tally introduced me to Van Gogh and Picasso and Miro. More than that, she helped me see the thinking and theory behind their work, to understand the context of the culture and the times on their creativity. In the course of my pilgrimages to the Fine Arts Center for her classes, I met student and faculty artists. I saw their work and felt the exhilaration of the creative process, that white magic of creating something profound and moving and even shocking out of nothing. I knew I would never be an artist, but the history of art and artists absorbed me. I spent more time, in fact, at the art department than in the English department where I majored and where I edited the literary magazine. I even launched a brief stint as a figure model and was chagrined on my first sitting to find one of my high school crushes sculpting me in the front row. It was quite short-lived. In my senior year, Tally paid me the compliment of asking me to edit the catalog for an exhibition of Dürer etchings that she was curating. We lost touch after graduation, and it wasn't until I read Dr. Natalie Boymel-Campin's obituary in 2012 that I realized that as well as my friend and my mentor, she had been a pioneering, internationally recognized feminist scholar, one of the world's most notable experts, in fact, on the history of the Roman colonies. I cannot, on the other hand, remember when I first met M.T. Menino here in Concord. Perhaps when I was recruited to the board of the Capitol Center for the Arts. But I remember the experience of meeting her. M.T. was a force of nature, all flowing scarves and bright patterned colors, and I hear you laughing out there, so I know that you knew her. She was larger than life, brash, unfiltered, and profoundly knowledgeable about how things work. She was an astute and talented executive. M.T. lived in the world of the performing arts. She understood the role of culture in building and reflecting community. She made a point of being a member of the Rotary and cultivating business relationships. She served on Concord's Economic Development Advisory Council, also known as EDAC. She saw the Capitol Center and other cultural nonprofits as economic engines in the community. As I entered her orbit, I found myself accompanying her to Concord 2020 planning meetings and tagging along to observe EDAC meetings. Probably at her instigation, I was asked to join EDAC, where I still serve. I watched her promote cultural institutions as tools of economic development before I even heard of Richard Florida or read The Rise of the Creative Class. M.T. Menino taught me the principles of the creative economy, and the aha moment for me was profound. Our shared ambition was to see Concord adopt a creative economy plan, to recognize the arts and humanities as an integral part of the city's economic development toolkit. But then, MT was gone, struck down by a stroke on Thanksgiving weekend in 2005. Today, Concord does have a creative economy plan adopted by the City Council in 2008. The creative sector has permanent seats on the Economic Development Advisory Council in the city. And a standing creative economy committee resides in the Chamber of Commerce advancing creative enterprise. Now, in her own way, each of these women taught me that the humanities define us, that the humanities tell us and posterity who we were and what we believed and how we viewed the world that we inherited and built. I was having lunch last week with a friend, and the friend asked this question that I posed at the top of this talk: why this passion for the humanities? And I told him about Tally and MT. And then he asked, did you ever have the chance to thank them? And the answer was no. Then he told me about the Buddhist tradition of honoring a mentor by bringing them flowers on the Buddha's birthday. It may not actually be Buddha's birthday, but tonight is my visit, and these words are my flowers. Thank you.